but if Ian didn't steal the weapons, then who did? And then you see her feet, and she's killed, like, slit the throat of one of the soldiers. I guess it said 2 weeks ago. And I was like, who is it? Who is it? And like, oh, boo. But it's kind of cool because that's kind of what you want. It reminded me of like an old serial or something where the villain appears and you hear hissing in the crowd. Like, she was almost the perfect person to show up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you
is she
got a strong
reaction. Is she on her own? Like, I don't know.
I hope so.
I guess we'll find out.
See any of those other
we'll
jokers. But I was also thinking, who else would we want it to be? And we were joking in the call-in show. Somebody said, what if it was Kim Dickens?
Oh my God.
And then I'm like, what if it was Rick?
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Rick in his like very sort of feminine cargo trousers and long blonde hair.
His big,
that would be amazing.
His big beard.
Yes. Giving away the trick there. Yeah, so I guess Leah's back. Yay. We'll see. It'll be I mean, she might have a new group. I don't know. She looked like she might be on her own, but that was a hell of a heist to do on her own. And as I say, my faith in how good the Reapers are really plummeted after the last couple of episodes
dead,
with them.
So we only saw her. I don't know, but as far as what Lance is planning and everything, I mean, does seem pretty clear that this was all about guns, and they had mentioned other cargo, but I wonder if that was like a trade or something for these guns. I don't know, but anyway, it does seem like they went there to get guns, and it could. I don't think it is this, but it could just be Lance doing the same thing he was doing with the poppy farmer, just wheeling and dealing to get supplies because the Commonwealth needs weapons, you know? But it seems more secretive than that. And that, maybe he's planning a coup.
It's possible. It's very possible.
Something like that.
I guess we'll find out.
All right. I had a thing about just the action packedness of this episode. You've already talked about some of it, the whole strobe light effect with Daryl. When he was trying to get into the safe and the alarm goes off and it's flashing on the wall, and Rosita pulled the alarm off the wall and it's hanging by these wires. I'm like, just pull it out. Were you thinking that? Like, she's trying to smash it. I'm like, just those wires are thin. Just pull it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't have worked, but it seemed like if smashing that thing worked, then so would have just pull it out of the wall. I don't know. And then the whole thing about using the guts. I like that they're using that more lately just because it makes sense. They figured that out all the way back in the second episode of the show, which was called Guts. I don't remember how they figured it out. Do you? Like they just decided to try it, or I don't know.
God, that was so long ago.
Gotta go back and work. But it was interesting that it didn't really work this time because she got caught on, or the zombie got caught on her uniform or something, and then she let out a gasp. I think that's what did it. And the zombie's like, huh?
I was trying to think, like, what would you do in that situation? Because, how do you unstick yourself?
I would just
giving
try to
up?
walk along with it for a little while, and you know, like anytime I get something like a knot that I can't untie, the worst thing to do is to pull really hard on it. You have to try to get closer and loosen it. Yeah, but you got to keep your cool, and that's really hard in that situation.
Did you say that again?
No,
my apologies.
Shut up.
I couldn't hear what you said.
I'm not talking to you.
No need for profanity.
Sorry. Anyway, she let out a gasp, it noticed, and then she knifed it, and just moving like a human will alert them all, I guess.
She did a lot better than Sam and his brother in Alexandria. So, you know, April, you had a good go. You had a good go, girl.
And then Rosita stabbed her right through the forehead with barely any pressure. But so much for all that rationalizing that it's easy to knife a zombie in the head because zombie skulls have gone soft. I mean, she just died and Rosita's like, boink.
Yeah, or maybe, you know, she just wasn't right.
Right in the head.
Maybe April had bigger problems.
Soft-headed. And then Carlson, action in the other storyline too. Carlson and his soldiers come upon Aaron and Gabriel on the roof. I thought it was a little bit Department of Suspension of Disbelief that he didn't just gun them down right immediately.
Oh, totally.
The
whole
speech.
Elijah the Ninja. And
it sneaks up and he's got his Reaper mask on again, which we never learned why, but I guess it's just a coincidence. I don't know.
Because he is a ninja. Like, I don't know. For reasons.
And then he calls for help. He's like, all troopers up to the roof now. Commander needs assistance. And then the door behind Aaron opened and he didn't flinch and it was Maggie. But I was like, how did he know it wasn't Carlson's backup? That was a little bit
right.
of a
Right.
suspension of
I was a bit
disbelief, too.
confused by that as well, to be honest.
But then Aaron shot him and he fell off the roof and the people that he threw off ate him. That was awesome.
Oh, brilliant. I love that they started the episode focusing in on them and being like, oh, they didn't all,
Yeah.
they're all going to come back. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty sweet that it's ending with this awful, awful guy being eaten alive by them.
Instant
Perfect.
karma.
Yes.
And I mean, it was interesting with Carlson that they focused in that he didn't really want to do that and he was happy doing actual humanitarian work. But when he's in CIA operative mode or whatever, he becomes a royal asshole and he would have just killed everyone there. He's like, we find our guns or we burn this place to the ground. So I don't blame Aaron for doing what he did.
It was very, last week, the way that they set it up, it was very, I don't know, action movie like, but I've retired from all that. And he's like, no, we need you back for one last go. And I was like, all right, okay. But no, it was a fitting end for a pretty unhinged dude, I think.
Yeah. Well played.
It didn't take much. Oh yeah, well played. I mean, that guy, I got distracted because I felt he really looks like Rhys Darby from Flight of the Conchords and Jumanji films. I was like, oh, he's like Rhys Darby's weird little brother. But he has a great kind of shit-eating villain face and played it just perfectly.
He does that on Ozark too. You just want to punch him.
Oh, is he in Ozark?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
So good. So bad.
That's my next binge watch. So
all right, let's get into some notes.
I did enjoy Negan's line to Aaron of says the man who rolled up with the Gestapo when he's calling out Aaron for being a bit sanctimonious. I was like, yeah, fair point, Negan. Fair point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because they're getting kind of high and mighty.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
there's a lot of
you
glass.
just came in here with your armor and killed half my people.
A lot of glass houses, I think, in the Alexandria group sometimes. I'm like, y'all aren't like the most innocent. I did like that Negan is respectful of Maggie when he is talking about her to Herschel and he calls her a very smart lady. Like he knows not to fuck with her, and I think
he loves her.
He's learning.
I mean, he found a woman whose name rhymes with hers, and
yeah.
But I mean, back to what you mentioned just a second ago, Aaron and Gabriel are actually lucky that Negan's people didn't kill them. Like, because I guess Negan knows them well enough to know they must not be on board with this.
Mm-hmm. I think that's completely it. And I think Negan does have allegiance to that group.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Gabriel, his attitude of just being quite not into the stuff last week and this week, and them talking about the goddamn priest again, that made me just like Gabriel quite a lot. I like the description of the group as a tenement warlord and his thieving followers. Oh, here's something I meant to look up and didn't. When they have cornered the guy on the roof, Toby Carlson?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Toby Carlson?
Mm-hmm.
That's his name, right? He sighs and says the wisdom to know the difference. That's a truncated version of, is it an AA saying?
Yeah.
Give me the wisdom to know the difference.
It's
I'm just gonna Google it.
Lord, grant me the courage to change the things I can.
Accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the
and
things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Okay, so he realizes at that point that his card is marked, and he code switches immediately back to being this kind of sniveling, sleazy guy, and he deserved what he got. I have to say.
It was a nice little touch for him to say that, though, just to add a little character.
Oh, the way he just muttered it to himself. I was like, oh, do they have AA in Alexandria? I mean, good for them. Not Alexandria, the Commonwealth. Yeah, and I've just written, will Herschel get Maggie's comic book scene, which I think is perhaps a possibility, but I think it's going in a different direction now. And I think that's cool. And I guess next week / this week, we're looking at what Hornsby is going to do to follow up on this, because Aaron and Gabriel are heading back, but Hornsby's going to be looking for these people who I presume are headed to Hilltop, but I don't know that Negan's getting let in, so we'll need to see what happens there. How about you? Speaking
of the comic, The Rotten Core is the name of one of the collected volumes of The Walking Dead.
It is,
And
yes.
we've been talking about it, but not doing it, which is that we really need to get up to speed on the comics and do a comic talk segment soon.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been a little bit lax, but next week you're going to be out. And so I say, the episode after that is this second trimester finale. We could do a big comic talk segment there.
Yes, we could midwife our comic book section into life. I think that would be great. Yeah, because the reason when we were doing comic talk regularly and it was a couple of issues at a time, it was easy to kind of catch up on it. But because this is such a big arc and a lot of the major players are switched out or not in the show anymore, I really want to read it properly and really go for it. So I think that would be good.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
And then you can explain what you meant about Herschel taking Maggie's part when we do that.
Yes, absolutely.
So
that is what I will do.
And then all of my other notes we've covered, except that just a bunch of people living in an apartment complex in the zombie apocalypse reminds me of this old zombie drama podcast called We're Alive. I don't know if you ever knew about that, but
I didn't listen to We're Alive.
It's pretty good. And they lived in an apartment complex for a lot of it.
It's a logical place to be, I think. If you can, Megan made a really good point last week about if the zombies can't see you, they tend to chill out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the height is always a good thing because you've got good vantage points. So no, I think a tenement warlord would not be a bad place to be, personally.
All right, that's great. We will take a little break. There's more to come. Stay with us.
Obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Deadcast news update.
All right. Oh, one thing I just remembered that somebody mentioned in that final scene in World Beyond where they were in a lab in France and there was this fast-moving zombie. And I think there had been mention that there was some kind of a center in upstate New York, maybe? I don't remember for sure. Yeah, so I bet you that was a setup for the Maggie Negan spinoff, so we'll get some fast zombies.
Oh,
right?
That would make sense.
That'd be cool.
Yep, upstate New York. Yeah.
Entertainment Weekly interviewed Angela Kang. She had a lot to say about all the stuff with Negan, which I thought was interesting. They say, so what can you say about Negan getting hitched again here to this woman, Annie? She says, ultimately, we really think that Negan from the books, but also in the way we've established him on the show, he's not actually a guy who's a loner. He's a joiner. He says so. He wants to be in a group. He wants to be social. He's a total extrovert. And I think being alone is death for him. So I think he probably pretty quickly hooks up with this group. I think his goal was to keep his head down, but then he got enamored with this really strong, beautiful, awesome, badass woman. We know he admires people like that, and so I think that this is a guy who likes to be in love. He's a guy who cheated a lot on his wife. He's a guy who coerced many women into marrying him when he was at the sanctuary. He hooked up with Alpha, so it felt like that's part of his character. But in this case, he finds something true about this person and this relationship. That's part of what's changing him even now.
Interesting.
I'm glad she mentioned coerced many women into marrying him, that hopefully they're not just forgetting about all that and pretending it didn't happen,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's, you can't completely erase all that, I don't think.
Right. They ask, when Negan sees Herschel has been captured and he goes to save him, is this purely altruistic? Is he trying to make amends? Is this a strategic chip with Maggie? She says, when it comes to kids, that's one of the areas where, actually, I don't need to read all this. I'll just say, she's saying, in this case, it's pure altruism, that yes, he understands it's going to look good for Maggie, but in the moment, he doesn't think about that too hard. He's just trying to help.
Kid in danger.
Yeah. Let's talk about the scene where Negan comes clean to Herschel about killing his dad. This really had me thinking, what does Negan make of what he did there at this point? Because on the one hand, he's indisputably changed, but he also told Maggie not that long ago that he should have killed all of them. So how does he view the act of killing Glenn right now? I think that when Negan told Maggie that he should have killed them all, I think he really believes that. And he's trying to talk to her in that scene like a leader to leader, going like, strategically speaking, you guys caused a lot of problems for me, and I fell as a result of that. But he doesn't have a lot of remorse that he shows there. I definitely think he's trying to make up with with it via actions, but he's never apologized to her. But it's all very theoretical thing in some ways. That night he was like, well, you guys killed my guys, so I had to do something. I didn't even kill all of you. Maybe that was a mistake on my part. So I think he's really been thinking of it almost in terms of the chess moves he made. And did he fuck up the chess moves? I think it's a little different when you're face to face with a child who now has a gun in his hand going like, you killed my father and I never got to know that parent. So a lot of things are running through his head. I don't think he's all the way there to the point where he's like, I'm sorry, but he actually treats him like a child and is like, look, you're too young to get into this shit with me. This is clearly not an even match and we're going to have a problem, but I understand where you're coming from. I think there's something to Negan about the guy is weirdly radically honest at times. He could very easily tell the kid like, no, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're thinking, because clearly mom didn't say that it was him. But I think there's something about Negan that feels like if he's going to move forward, he can't hide the things he did because they happened and people know it. So he didn't lie to Annie about it, and he's not going to lie to the kid about it. I think that's very true to who Negan is. For better or for worse, he'll tell you exactly what he's thinking.
Yeah, radical honesty. That's one way of looking at it.
And then last, they say, so when he later goes up to Herschel and says they have unfinished business and to come find him when he grows up and they will settle it, what does he mean by settle it? Because that could mean a few things. It could mean come kill me in 10 years and we're good, or it could mean we'll deal with it in another way. What does he mean? I think what he means is any of the above. I think he wants the kid to have a chance to grow up and be a child. And if he still feels the same way 10, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, then he has the right to come after him and try to kill him. Or maybe they get to shake hands and talk it out like men. But he just doesn't think it's fair to put the burden of avenging your father on somebody who's still, his hands are too small to even hold the gun properly.
Oh, it's kind of cute.
I know.
Cute revenge, Dean.
He handled it pretty well. He's like, maybe I do deserve to die, but you will also put all these other people in danger. Smart.
I feel that Negan could have a real go as like a child hostage negotiator and children who are like holding one another hostage. That's maybe his strong suit.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a calling there is for that, but I mean, I'm sure they're needed here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the last thing in the news is Pajiba.com had an article on Jeffrey Dean Morgan that mentioned a few things he said in recent interviews that I thought were interesting. Regarding the announcement that Walking Dead would be ending with season 11, he apparently said it came from nowhere and there was such a huge pivot. I think they had season 11 all mapped out where they were going to go, and suddenly it became, we also have to close the story in a way. It took everybody by surprise, so it was a massive pivot.
Ooh.
I was bummed to read that.
That's a little alarming.
Yeah, because I thought they found out early on and then could write the whole rest of the season to the ending, not that they had it mostly planned out and had to shift it like that.
I mean, it kind of explains the Whisperers a little bit.
What do you mean? The Whispers? Or
No, the Whisperers, the Reapers. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I just thought those first 8 episodes, but I thought the last 16, maybe they added 8 after.
Maybe.
I think they decided to lengthen it, so maybe the last 8 are after they found out.
That would chime. That would make sense.
I don't know. God, I hope they make it. So. They can make it decent.
Please be good.
It's going to be hard with we know that some of the main characters are going to go on and have their own series. Whatever.
It's so strange. Yeah, it's a strange. It's a really strange time to be a Walking Dead fan right now.
Yeah, it's ending and yet it's growing. Then about the Maggie Negan spinoff, he said, "Now that we've announced that there's going to be a spinoff, I guess we don't need to die. Spoiler alert, folks. Sorry, I'm still not sure why we announced that already. It's sort of a shocker to me." That's funny.
He's being quite sassy. I like
yeah, he's just as honest as Negan is. And then last, how he feels about the show finishing up. He says, it's a lot, but I got to tell you, man, we've been here for 17, 18 months. It's time to go. You know what I mean? I think if it were a regular season and we were only shooting 16 episodes, we did 30 this year, there'd be a lot more emotion. But at this point, everybody's just ready to be done and ready to go home.
Well, JDM is definitely ready to go home.
Yeah, right. I mean, that does seem like it's hard to do that. And I don't know if he's exaggerating, but if they've really been there for 17 or 18 months, that's a lot.
That sounds difficult. On our, famous rival podcast, Office Ladies, I was listening, they were talking about having to run something like 26 episodes in a row, and it sounded awful. They were like, yeah, everyone gets sick, it's really brutal, there's no energy, and it must be in these conditions as well with, pandemic protocols and things like that. It can't be easy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure it's tough to do that on The Office, but on The Walking Dead, you're also facing the elements outside.
So much worse. Yeah, you're like sweating under prosthetics if you're a Zed. You're not allowed to like shower if you're not a Zed. Like,
Right.
oh, gross.
All right, that is it for the news. Let's move on to the listener moans, groans, and grunts.
Okay, Steve Barr has sent us a tune of which I only know the first two lines, so this will be fun. So we've got Jeepers Creepers, we're back to the Reapers. Jeepers Creepers, just one left of those guys. And then the next two lines, I'm just gonna guess. What you doing, Leah? No one wants to see ya. Bringing them back. Kang should
I
apologize.
think you hit it on the head. I'm so glad I gave you that one.
Oh, there you go. Weird Al, make way. Steve Barr and I are on your tail.
That's awesome. Wendy Ott Eppers says, best episode of the season. Love the action. I really hope it stays ramped up for the rest of the season. Don't mess with Daryl and Rosita's kids.
Hell no. Barbie Allen says, it was very satisfying to see Herschel hold Negan at gunpoint. Yes, Negan's changed and all that, but still, it was very satisfying. And I'm going to interpret this as a smug smiley.
I could not agree more. I got to admit, part of me was like, come on, kid, just do it.
Do it, Herschel.
Do it for Glenn. Dabalino Bob Grippy says, hello, my name is Herschel Ree. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Excellent. I love that. Alicia Stout says, I'm just here to say I love Carol. That's it. Carry on.
Rita Catalina Orell says, watch out, Lance Carroll's going to burn the Commonwealth down to the ground.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oscar Bergsis says, Toby got that sweet death broken and eaten by the folks he just killed himself. Maggie and Aaron working together like a sweet team, but didn't find anyone, huh? The end was weird. We're hoping it would be someone inside the Commonwealth who took the guns, or Maggie. But it wasn't. It was Leah, Oscar. Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe in the next 30 seconds, the first 30 seconds, Daryl will just shoot her in the head.
Oh, that'd be so great. Herschel, get on it.
Laura Sagal says it was truly compelling, and even though we know who's safe, it still is nail-biting too. Herschel facing his father's killer, and Negan to face his own demons of what he's done. The Commonwealth is unraveling, and it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she says, even though we know who's safe, and there's a lot of, I think hope is a good word, that this is all just a big joke. Have we talked about this before?
I think we mentioned it briefly.
Trying to fool us into thinking there are spin-offs, but it's actually April Fools or something.
I can't imagine AMC doing that.
I know, me neither.
If it was just Angela Kang or like just Matt Negrete or something, I'd be like,
Then
yeah, okay.
yeah,
but nah, AMC, I don't know. Maybe I'm cynical.
I feel the same way.
Lisa Edmondson Walker says, I was so happy Toby got the appropriate death. Not at all thrilled that Leah apparently took out an entire masked group of Commonwealth soldiers alone and got all the guns. I was hoping it was an inside job. Yep, Lisa. Yep, I feel you.
One of the main reasons why I think they would not do that is because Negan is such a huge fan favorite character. And so to be like, guess what? You're going to get the thing you always wanted, and then he gets killed in the final episode. Oh, psych! I lied.
Hey, if they give Lance Hornsby his own spin-off, I'll be watching. Just saying.
Horny for Hornsby.
Horny for Hornsby, the waistcoat edition. Yes.
Danielle Dementios says, "Oh, by the way, Lisa, yeah, you're right. I'm glad Toby got that death." Totally right. Daniel Demetrio says the time jump here is throwing me off. It doesn't feel like it's been 12 plus weeks since Negan left, but apparently it has been based on his wife's pregnancy. I know, at least. I mean, God, how quick did they get busy? Maybe it was
Yeah, I know, right?
the first date. Another reason that the final Reapers episode ought to have been the last episode in part 1.
Yes, Danielle.
Yeah. I'm getting Carl vibes from Little Herschel. The whole thing was something he would have done. I'm generally of the mind to give people an opportunity to grow and change and start fresh, especially in the ZA where everyone has had to cross likes they wish they hadn't. But to expect Negan and Maggie to coexist peacefully is unreasonable. He could become a superhero and save everyone a million times over, and all she would be able to see when she looked at him is him hovering menacingly over Glenn's head.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's one reason why this whole spinoff seems like a big to me, because it's like, okay, maybe you could get to the point where Maggie realizes that Negan is a changed person, but then does she have to hang out with him?
Do you have to be with him forever? Like, ugh, no.
Then she goes, ugh, Leah's the worst. Very well said. On an unrelated note, my husband and I were talking about voices we find pleasant to listen to, and I played him a bit of Walking Dead cast so he could hear Jason. Just kidding. So he could hear Lucy. He agreed that Lucy has a wonderful voice. I couldn't agree more.
Thanks, Danielle and
So
Jason
nice.
and Danielle's husband.
I wanted so badly to come to Atlanta, but the finances made it impossible. I trust Jason and all who went had a good time, and I'm jealous of all of you. It was all right. You didn't miss anything.
It was fine. They've all got COVID now. They don't all have COVID now. That's not true. Like, I got it and I didn't even go to Atlanta. So
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, that's how much. Although one time, let it be known, I did like somehow through the power of podcasting contract a stomach bug from you. Do you remember? You were like, oh, I've been sick all week, and I was like, oh well, that's what you get for having kids. And then the next day I was like, I've been up all night throwing up. I think it was karma for me being like, well, you know, that's why kids are gross. And then I was like, yeah, I barfed my guts up.
Microphone, that allows transmission
Properly
of
gross.
germs.
So horrible. In Peter's words, it was like The Exorcist, but worse. So I was like, oh, thanks. Ashley Edward Wolf says, another stellar episode. Negan is going to be a dad and he's married? I didn't expect that. The scenes between Negan and Herschel could have been better. I just didn't feel them. Oh, okay. Each their own. The list of names given to Connie, were they the group of 30 sent to that house to retrieve the money? Oh, that whole mission confirms that Lance is an asshole, which is disappointing because I kind of liked him. Carol's onto him and that's not good for Lance. So Ashley's talking about 2 or 3 episodes ago, the mysterious note under the door.
Yeah, we had thought maybe it was like dissenters or something, but maybe it was
because I suppose if you
candidates.
if you started investigating those, you'd know that they'd all gone missing and hadn't come. Oh, smart. Mercer, damn, I love everything about him. Yes, girl. I cheered when he killed Sebastian's 2 cronies. Toby's end felt so justified. Oh, and Leah, fuck Leah. I forgot she even existed. Maggie, finish her off.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about her coming back is that maybe she can just definitively die.
Maggie's probably not going to be super happy with Daryl that she's still alive.
Oh, does
as
she
far
not
as they know,
Oh.
I don't think they know. I mean, I assume
okay.
Daryl didn't come back and was like, let her go. I assume.
I don't know.
I assume they think she's dead.
Yeah, this message actually makes me realize that maybe this whole thing about people being sent to retrieve money, I had just sort of thought, oh, here's another fucked up thing that Sebastian's doing and it'll be something else next week. But maybe it'll actually be a bigger ongoing deal in the series, you know?
Maybe
Bet you
Lance
will.
is happy that I'm just sticking up for Lance. Maybe Lance is happy, not because he's a bad guy, but because like now he has evidence that Sebastian's a bad guy. That's my theory, anyway.
Sure, that's it. Kristen Crabtree, it's my turn, right? Yeah. Says, oh, Hornsby, go ahead, trust Carol. Please tell Carol all your secrets. Negan is married. I need help with this timeline. I don't know if I wanted baby Herschel to shoot him or not. Damn, this show for confusing my sense of what's right and wrong. Daryl should have killed that dick as soon as he threatened the kids. Not cool, man. I hope your death is as satisfying as Spencer's.
I hope it's worse. Brad Sampson says 2 fantastic episodes in a row. When Daryl threatened to get Sebastian for threatening the kids, I was so hoping he would do it. I would have absolutely cheered. It was strange that Negan is now married. He is definitely not the same man that he used to be. His interaction and honesty with Herschel was a great moment. When Negan told Herschel to find him in a few years reminded me of Kill Bill Volume 1, when Beatrix kills Vernita Green and Vernita's daughter walks in right after Beatrix told her if she wanted to avenge her mother's death, she would be waiting. Do you know, I've never seen Kill Bill.
It's great. It's pretty violent.
Yeah. Brad says, I feel so sorry for Hornsby. You don't want to be on Carol's bad side, and her nonchalance in her conversation with Hornsby spoke volumes. Yeah, when Carol's got her like, okay, voice on, you know you're in deep shit.
Run away. Ginger Martinez says, hi, Jason and Lucy. I thoroughly enjoyed this and the last episode, the best so far this season. I cannot decide if I believe that Negan would truly be a changed man. I do enjoy the character and I want him to redeem himself, but I wonder, do people really ever change? On TV, they do. He was a cheater before and probably a psychopath after, so could he really change? Interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks for the pod.
Aww.
I think people can change, but it's pretty rare. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you can change sometimes, but not fully. You are who you are. That's okay.
I mean, I think there's people who have had a really violent past that end up totally just turning around and trying to help other people who came from poor circumstances or whatever it was, you know. I've seen that before. They serve their time in jail, come out and try to do good in the world. I think it happens. I don't know. I like
it can do. I think circumstances have a lot to answer for sometimes. I in nature versus nurture, I think there's a lot of nurture to answer for it as well. Alma Contreras says, first off, this episode was really full of what the fuck moments. Of course, I am not thrilled with Leah being back. Maggie should have finished her off when she had the chance. Now this hooker is going to bring down trouble onto our people. I loved how CIA dude got his comeuppance. Oh my god, let me not forget the Herschel Negan confrontation. Oof, this kid playing Herschel is perfect and a talented little actor. I almost forgot Daryl and Rosita's little side hustle. Freaking Sebastian. And Carol never ceases to amaze me. Her and Mercer coming to the rescue was pretty awesome. And yes, Carol is on to Hornsby. Well, this episode had me going crazy. Can't wait to hear y'all's thoughts. Ooh-wee. I love that.
I know. I'd love to hear you call in sometime, Alma. I want to hear how you say all that stuff.
Hell yes. Agree.
But Fred Weisinger says, regarding Carlton's fate, I think he's making fun of me. I'm sure many of us can feel sympathy for a recovering alcoholic, a recovering CIA agent, and even someone who can suffer a 7-story fall and still be able to lift their head up to witness that they're about to become lunch. I think there's one opinion we all share. Drink fingerers deserve to die, and we're not sorry when they do. Oh, and one more thing. Once sweet baby Negan is born, they should have a brand of diapers called Negan Shittin' Pants.
An Etsy store, a post-apocalyptic Etsy store. I've just realized that in this episode there was a literal burglar alarm, and I didn't say purple burglar alarm. So,
oh man,
prize to me. It was
colors.
white. It was a white burglar alarm.
You know, I think when Negan first appeared, they actually did have some Depends that were branded as Negan Shittin' Pants. I might just be making that up, but I'm pretty sure it happened.
I wish I'd known that before Christmas.
Oh, Peter would have loved it so much.
He would have been so happy. He'd have been like, this is a great present. Thank you. Brad Holt says, this show is just so damn good. Loved this episode. The Negan and Herschel scenes were exciting and moving. I didn't know what I wanted to happen. Daryl going up against Sebastian gave me certain comic book vibe, if y'all know what I mean. Whoa. Yes. I sincerely hope all of these spin-off shows are just red herrings like Kirkman did with the comic leading up to the final surprise ending. Oh, I don't think we've seen buzzing flies around dead bodies since season 1. That was gross and awesome. Oh, good point, Brad.
Yeah, that's cool. I noticed that too. Nate Pacini says it's starting to come together. It makes sense that Daryl might be visiting Hilltop to make peace and not fight. Seems like he's on the outs in the Commonwealth. Mercer also seems less than pleased. Yes. Stupid Sebastian is the downfall of the whole community. I enjoyed Negan in this episode, but it feels again like the timeline's a little off. I mentioned last week that Maggie's arrival at the Warlord complex was way too quick. This week we've got Negan, who left the group about a week maybe before they returned to Alexandria. Less than 60 days later, Negan has found a community, fallen in love, gotten married, and is expecting a child with Anne. Well, there's a time jump, because she's 12 weeks pregnant. So,
No, it's Eat, Pray, Love, Negan edition.
all right, we got quite a few calls, so let's jump in. Here is Reese from West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Hey Jason and hopefully Lucy, it's
Hey.
Reese from West Virginia, just sending my thoughts on Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 14, The Rotten Core. I really enjoyed this episode. Carlson continued to be a great villain. He had a really strong presence these last couple episodes. Hated to see him go, but boy did he deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that T.O. Rapp Olsen is doing a fantastic job playing the ultimate POS in the form of Sebastian.
Yes.
The highlight of the episode, though, at least to me, was the scene between Herschel and Negan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan really sold Negan's remorse in that moment. I suspect they probably threw that in there to eventually be picked back up in something else, maybe Isle of the Dead. It'll be interesting to see how things eventually play out between those two. I gotta say, though, I didn't realize just how much of an effect Fear the Walking Dead has had on me, because as soon as I saw Herschel holding that gun, my first thought was, oh no, it's another Charlie and Dakota. I was surprised that we saw Leah again so soon, though. I kind of just assumed we wouldn't see her again until the Daryl and Carol series or maybe something else, but nope. I'm very curious to see how she plays into the story going forward. I know some people don't care for her, but I actually really liked her. Kind of want to see how she plays off of some of our other characters when they aren't actively fighting each other, so I really hope we see some of that in these next few episodes. That's all I have to say, though. Thank you both and the other hosts for putting this podcast together every week. It's always a highlight. Get well soon, Lucy, and both of you take care. Have a good one.
Oh,
Thanks, Reese.
And if you or anyone you know has been affected by Fear the Walking Dead, I don't really know what to tell you other than your life is going to be terrible now. So yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. There's nothing
Sorry
you can
about
do.
that.
I hadn't thought of Charlie or what was the other one you mentioned? Dakota. Since probably the last time I had to speak about them on a podcast. So thanks, Reese, for bringing them back.
I might be getting over COVID, but I am not getting over Fear the Walking Dead anytime soon.
Dakota.
friggin' Charlie.
No, I'm just teasing. That was a great call. Thank you. Here's
Thank you.
Adam from Daytona Beach.
Hey guys, this is Adam from Daytona Beach, Florida. Wanted to just chime in on last night's episode. You guys have probably already talked about this a little bit, but I caught that Mercer called them walkers and not rotters.
Oh.
Just seemed like an interesting word choice. I feel like the writers would have been intentional, since the Commonwealth calls them something different than what we've always called them. So just curious about thoughts on that, if any, if it was just an actor goof or if there's something more to that, since he's calling them the same thing that our guys are calling them. Thanks. Love the pod. Bye.
It reminds me of an old Marvel Comics thing where if you caught a mistake in a comic book, you were supposed to send a letter to the editor explaining how that could be explainable in universe, and then you get what's called a no prize, which I think just meant you got no prize. But anyway, so I think it was just a production mistake. In fact, I think they've done that before, where characters who it doesn't make sense would call them walkers have. But I think maybe he's just been hanging out with Daryl a lot. That's my explanation.
I think they're buds now. Yeah. I think they're like, yeah.
All right, here, but that was interesting. I did not catch that, so I'm glad you brought that up. Here's Rebecca Davidson, who I met recently at Fandemic, and she was delightful. And
oh, amazing.
Hi, Walking Dead cast. This is Rebecca. Talking about the Rotten Core. I loved this episode. It made me feel like this was The Walking Dead again. Like, I feel like this season has been a little bit slow. The last few episodes have been better. Today's was really, really good. Where to start? Sebastian is a piece of shit. You can tell Mercer is over it. When he and Carol had to come into the rescue because of Sebastian's shenanigans. I wonder if this was Sebastian getting back at Daryl for Daryl's sarcasm about how Sebastian's heart rate actually goes down when he sees walkers. Like, so ridiculous. I'm glad they got out of that bind, and I feel like this was a turning point for Mercer. Like, you can tell he's over the bullshit.
Yeah.
I loved seeing the whole Maggie, Negan, little Herschel encounter, that whole storyline. I think it's further complicated now that Negan is married with a wife who's pregnant. I feel like this is setting up whatever their spinoff is going to be, the Maggie and Negan spinoff in New York City. So it's made me a little bit more interested in that. So that was really fun to see. I'm just like, oh my God, there's Negan. And I loved his line of, let's put it back in our pants and zip it up. I love that he doesn't mince his words. Seeing him protect little Herschel, like we know Negan has a special place in his heart for kids. So like, I feel like we all knew from the beginning little Herschel was going to be safe once Negan like rescued him from the Commonwealth soldier. Yep. Carol, I think Carol and Lance Hornsby, their interaction there at the end, Lance has officially messed with the wrong girl. She's officially pissed. And that means things are about to happen. So I'm excited to see this revolution with Mercer and Carol heading it up. I'm calling it. That's what I'm saying. I think Mercer and Carol are going to get this revolution going. So can't wait to hear your thoughts. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
That is a revolution I would join without hesitation. Absolutely.
Can you remember why Negan almost chopped Carl's hand off?
I just think Carl was annoying.
I remember he was trying to get Rick to do something, and Rick was just sitting there agonizing with like snot
with that
coming
snot
down.
bubble.
That's what we all remember, I guess. But then he finally gave in to whatever it was, and his dad or Carl was like, "No, just let him do it." But I forget what was at stake.
No, it was Negan was making Rick cut Carl's arm off. And it was like very biblical, like when Rick was about to do it, Negan stopped him because Carl was over it. Carl was like, "Just do it, Dad. This is fucking shit." Just
so Negan stopped him. So maybe it was just a test or something, and he never actually intended on doing it.
I think it was about breaking Rick as much as he could.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Carl was being annoying. I feel like we're not judging Carl's behavior enough here.
He loved Carl. He
did love Carl. Yeah, he did love him.
All right. Here is Robin from Georgia.
Robin.
Good morning, Jason and Lucy. Well, hopefully, Lucy, I hope you're feeling better, but other guest host, hello, in case she isn't. This is Robin, again, being a pest, calling from Georgia every week. Another great episode. Oh, my gosh, that idea of the haves treating the have-nots as, completely expendable in the haves' quest for, lots of money and lots of power is really, really strong. And the burgeoning idea of our folks getting involved in the I don't know, revolution, I guess it'll be, is really interesting. Totally made me think of the graffiti in the subway. I just have to say, though, that even in all of that heavy message, the idea of a zombie fight in a strobe light and the throat pounding idea of Daryl and Rosita walking into that safe room and closing the door behind them.
Oh my God,
just
that stressed
had
me
absolutely on the edge of my seat. And I just think that, Lance knowing about it and it being so absolutely glorious in his ignorance of who Carol really is, he really needs to watch out. It's kind of going to be amazing with her. And one more thing about Herschel. Oh my gosh, Herschel being Carl 2.0, stowing away. And the look on his face when his mother asked him what Negan had said to him is just that little actor is amazing. And they really set up some interesting dynamics between him and Negan. So much more to say, but I'll quit here. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, Robin.
That's awesome.
Appreciate your calls. Let's do. I got two more. Here's Owen from Leeds.
Owen.
So this isn't really related to anything recent when it comes to The Walking Dead. This is just purely the fact that on episode 216 of The Walking Dead cast, We All Fall Down, Fear the Walking Dead, season 2, episode 2. Might I add, Jason, you seem to really enjoy Fear the Walking Dead back then. But you predicted the coronavirus pandemic. And if you don't mind listening for just a moment, I will show you here.
Drastically. So this type of thing wouldn't be
any moment now.
Unheard of.
I know. I mean, I think someday there may be some kind of a plague that wipes out a bunch of the population, and it could very well be man-made. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't mean to make light of COVID, but hey, look at that. You predicted the future. That's all.
You
Ta-ta for now.
manifested.
Owen from Leeds, out.
Thanks, Owen.
I would just really like to
Oh,
make clear there is a big difference between predicted and manifested.
Is there?
And I'm sorry, okay? I predict there will be rainbows and happiness.
Yay!
Worldwide.
That would be nice.
Everyone
That
gets $1
would be
million.
nice. It is so weird when people remember stuff we've said. I find that so unnerving. I'm always like, oh crap, did I say that? Did I think that? Oh, it's very strange. I do find it funny that in like when Nico and Bodhi are like grown up, they'll be able to like listen back to this like time capsule of things that you've said. It's bizarre. I love it though. Back when Fear was good, season 2.
Yeah, it was good back then. And that was really fun. Thanks for sending that in.
That was awesome.
That's cool.
Owen.
Okay, one final call from Mr. Steve Brown.
Hello, Walking Dead cast. This is Steve, and this is going to be for the Rotten Core. Now they're just calling it the shipment, so we still don't know what all was in it, guns and what, but we know who took it, or I know because this is the second time watching the episode. I love Daryl's reaction to Sebastian. Yeah, it's good stuff. Slow clap.
Slow clap.
Kid Sebastian is a piece of work. Now he wants them to go do a robbery for him, and because they're better at taking out the zombies quietly. And this guy threatens everybody's kids. Where did Herschel come from? Oh, he was hiding in the truck? Oh, Negan's married and he knocked her up.
Yeah, she
I
knocked
get
up.
that they're really trying to make us like Negan, but it's still tough for me. I would have found a silencer to put on that pistol. Then he could take Negan out. Oh, that is not good. The house alarm going off. Shooting. I don't remember this part. Oh, Mercer. And yeah, okay, now I remember. It's like there's a lot going on that Mercer that you don't know about. Looks like Elijah's got his mask back on again. Dang, Aaron, that's cold. Carlson's getting just what he deserves. What a jerk. Sebastian. Oh, Hornsby was in on it with Sebastian. And 2 weeks ago, Leah was the one who killed the troopers we saw on the road. I guess she's back. And I only saw guns, but there might have been more in the truck. Who knows? I can't wait to hear you guys talk about this one later.
Thanks, dude. I mean, they've really just been talking guns, so I think it's all about guns.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me.
Or Leah's having an amazing weekend with a whole load of opium.
They did briefly mention that in Sebastian's friend's father's safe room, there was a bunch of drugs in there. I was like, yeah, you should grab that too. Why not? Bring it
Yeah,
back to
I
the
did wonder when
Commonwealth.
Sebastian said supporting his lifestyle. I was like, what habits do you have?
But I
Interesting.
think it's all about like just being able to have, I don't know, sit out on the veranda and request cocktails and whatever else he wants to do.
Yeah, buy douchey cardigans.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to mention that I don't know what the hell happened. I had a big brain fart, probably because I changed the website and just started changing things, and so that made me suddenly just decide subconsciously that I didn't need to check our phone number that we always mention. So for the last, I don't know, a couple months, I have not been checking the phone number, and I did, and there were a bunch of calls from February on there.
Jason!
So I want to apologize to Claire from Colorado, Cindy from Columbus, Renee from Atlanta.
Renee, Claire,
Robin
Cindy,
from Georgia, who's
Robin
decided to go to the website. And yeah, the best way to leave a message is, I will check that now because I want to make sure and get all your guys' messages, but it would be cool also to try, just go to podcastica.com. You can click a button and just leave a message right there. But either way, if you want to call, I promise I will check that from now on.
I'll make sure he does. I'll mag him.
All right, that's our show, episode 465. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you. It's been so nice to be back. And I'm sorry I won't be here next week. I'm going to be on holiday, which is good because holiday, but bummer because I'll miss podcasting.
Well, you'll be back for the finale, so that'll be cool.
And I'll be running around the streets of a town in Europe shouting shame, shame, and ringing a bell because I'm going to King's Landing. So I'm pretty
that's
happy
so
about that.
cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Take a lot of pictures and you come back and report. That's amazing.
I'm intrigued to see how much Game of Thrones stuff there still is, just because it's been a couple of years now. So yeah, I'm super pumped to just be somewhere sunny, although obviously it's probably going to rain the whole time. But yeah, I will send photos.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see a lot of those structures and things, right, that have just been there for hundreds of years.
Yeah, absolutely. So fingers crossed.
That's amazing. All right, guys, if you want to write in or leave us a message, you can find all our contact information at podcastica.com.
While you're there, be sure to check out our other shows, which at the moment are Yellow Jackets, WTF, and
Moon Knight starts in just a few days. It comes Wednesday, the Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke.
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, and it looks like a trippy, I mean, he plays a superhero with dissociative identity disorder, and it looks like it's going to be a little darker than some of the other Marvel Disney shows, so I'm intrigued by it. I hope it's good.
Oh, I love it. I did tell you I saw Batman finally.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
The Batman. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
did.
cool.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was dark and interesting.
Yeah,
and Robert Pattinson was pretty good.
Pretty good. He was very emo, but I still
Very
enjoyed
emo.
it.
Like, it reminded me of being a grungy teenager, which is fine.
Next episode of this podcast, Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 15, Trust. And we'll have a couple of guest co-hosts on to fill in. That's going to be Jamie and Rima. So that'll be fun.
Oh,
I've never podcasted with Jamie
jealous.
before, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, Jamie and Rima, amazing.
This episode is made possible by Patreon supporters like Mark Nichols, who pledged their support at patreon.com/Jason Gavassi. Mark's great. He's sent in all this great feedback. Showed up on the call-in show recently, just yesterday, so that was great. There's a lot of perks, including a monthly call-in show, and also you can just feel good about supporting the show, and you get ad-free versions of each episode. So I know those ads are annoying. You can get episodes without them. Better yet, if you want to donate to help provide relief to people